Welcome to another episode of Just My Baby Daddy podcast. It's your favorite baby daddy, AJ. And today we're talking with my guy, Seymour Sinclair, because Seymour can talk about a subject that we don't talk about often, and that is co-parenting well after a divorce. We always hear about like stories of, courts and paid child support and all other kind of battles that come in between custody, that can happen when a divorce happens, but it doesn't have to be that way. So I appreciate you for being on the podcast and opening up and telling your story today, Seymour.
Appreciate it. Let me start off. So we were co-parenting before we got married. My son was
Okay.
born. Yeah, so he was born in 2013. We both were in a situation that was not good on both sides, and we kind of linked up a little bit here and there, and somehow a baby popped up. One thing I'm gonna say, I'm gonna take
Like magic.
you know how it is. Both situations not good. You find each other, and then a baby pop up. But I'm gonna take accountability. I was not the person back then that I was before that I am now. Due to the fact that I was a little selfish. I didn't want no kids. I'm just at the time back then I didn't want no kids. I let's kind of say, you know what, it can't be mine because you got a situation, I got a situation. It can't be mine, whatever. But accountability. She knew that it was mine, but for me, taking accountability as a man, I wasn't a man back then. I was a little immature person. I'm gonna keep it 100. I was a little immature person, just wanted to party, work, make money, but I didn't want to spend my time as a father.
It ain't about the reason why I look like that. It ain't about the immature thing. I was kind of in that same situation, but I was the guy on the other side, right?
Okay.
And I remember I found some stuff, and I was like, "Hey, is this baby mine?" And she was like, "No." And I was like, "Well, I let that shit go," because
Well,
when you especially when you don't want the baby, but the guy on the other side was telling people like the baby was mine. Like,
yeah.
come on, bro. Like, no, y'all snuck off together. Now this is y'all baby. This is y'all sneaky baby together.
So for the 9 months of her being pregnant, I wasn't there for the pregnancy. I wasn't there for the childbirth. I'm keeping 100. I wasn't there for the childbirth. I got a phone call. I never forget the date. He was born on the 5th. I got the phone call on the 7th of 2013. It was on a Saturday. I remember exactly what happened. I was outside doing my daily jogging, and I got a phone call from Google number. You know what I'm saying? Because I had blocked and everything. Because I'm like, this can't be my baby, whatever. So she was like, "Hey, the baby's here." I was like, "What they got to do with me and my child?" She was like, "You might want to second guess that." I'm like, "All right, whatever." So she sent me a picture, and when I say he looked like, from me, from the eyes, nose, and lips to everything, I was like, "Oh shit, I do got a baby out here. It looked just like me." You know what I'm saying? If you see like her situation, nothing like. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, all right, whatever. I'm like, fuck. Now I'm in a situation. I'm not thinking about quality time. I'm thinking about the money I'm about to spend. I'm thinking about the money. Like, okay, my paycheck is not gonna be my paycheck no more. And mind, I'm working 2 jobs. You know what I'm saying? It's not gonna be my paycheck no more. It's gonna be going towards this baby. She was kind of cool on me being me, but same time I was still being selfish. I'm gonna give her like 100% props. She did a lot for our son at the time. She made sure he went to the doctor's appointment, made sure he had all his nourishment, his food and everything. And I was just giving money here and there, whatever, not being around. Like I said, I'm still selfish, still being Seymour, you know what I'm saying? And it was going on for like a couple months, but she still like was cool about it. We might have like a disagreement here, like, oh, you're not coming to see your son, you're not doing this. And I'm like, well, whatever, I'll send you some money, whatever. Because I'm still being selfish. One particular day, it was like 6 months passed by, and I went over there to go see him. Mind you, I had lost my job. I had subleased my apartment. So I'm still just like in the mindset, like, man, I ain't got no money. I ain't got nothing to do. I'm just scraping and surviving, right? Once I started spending more time things were opening up for me. I got a new job. I got my apartment back, right? And one particular day, I never forget this particular day. I was on the couch with him, playing with him, whatever, playing with him. And he just gave me this biggest smile, like this smile out of nowhere, just like, and it hit me like, damn, why am I being like this toward this little boy? And somebody had told me years ago that you don't want to be a bad, you don't want to be a bad father, and then you see him 10 years from now, and you're more embarrassed of seeing that the child that you created 10 years later, he's looking at you and his mom say, "Oh, that's your daddy." So that kind of hit me as well. And once he gave me that smile, I was like, "What the fuck am I doing? Like, I can't be like this towards him." You know what I'm saying? He was. We both made him. He didn't. He didn't. He came out of us. I snapped. I was just like, "Fuck it. I gotta get my shit together." It turned in from seeing him twice a week to seeing him like every single day. I was just seeing him every single day. His babysitter was down the street from my parents' house. So I would leave my job, pick him up from the babysitter, take her to Laurel. So after a while, that was becoming too much, the driving. And once I got back on my feet, I was just like, listen, I sat her down. I said, listen, I'm back on my feet. Nothing against you, but this is going to be my last time coming to Laurel, coming to where you live at. And she was like, why, what's going on? I said, I can't do the job no more, but we want to have a schedule. So this how the schedule, I said, then I started being a leader. I was like, this how the schedule going to be. Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I think it was like Monday, Wednesday, and every other weekend. So let's say like Monday, Wednesday, and then I think no, I'm sorry, it was Tuesday and Thursday. I made it more easier for her. I said Tuesday and Thursday and every other weekend. So the reason why I did it was I get them on Tuesday and then Thursday. Then if it's my weekend, I would get them through that week. So now you have time to yourself. You know what I'm saying? Because you did a lot. You made sure that he had everything he needed. You breastfed him. You got up early in the night. You made sure that he was good. He was crying, you know what I'm saying? So I was just like, you know what? Let me take over. So I took over that situation. And it made me feel like, okay, now I'm a father. I got to learn how to do something as a parent. So I was getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning. He had this weird schedule where he would just pop up at 4:30, and I got to make his bottle. So I get to make his bottle, make him something to eat, and I'll put him back to sleep. And mind you, I had to be up at 6 to be at work at 8. So all this was kind of tiring, but it's so funny that it was becoming tiring, but I loved it because basically it was showing me that, oh, okay, I am a man. I'm a father, and I could do for him. You know what I'm saying? So it's like things start progressing. I started getting him more on her weeks, and there was times she would call me. She said, "Hey, I know it's not your week. Can you watch him?" And I hate that word. Can you watch your own child? I hate that. I hate that sentence. I hate that with a passion. Watch my own child. I don't need you to ask me, can I
Like,
watch
of
him? Like,
course.
yeah,
Yeah,
I watch him.
of
Like,
course.
and mostly I'm a homebody. Once I became like a father and started being like more mature, I stopped going out. So one thing I would start doing, I was mostly just working, and I was home all the time. So there's time like she wanted to go out, and I'd be like, yeah, I'll watch him, no problem. I pick him up, and there were times where like I go see him, and he would see me, and he'll start crying because I'm about to leave. I would cancel my plans. I'd be like, all right, come on, let's go. I'll just pick him up. And sometimes I would take him with me. There are times where I took him to like a lot of places where like even kids weren't allowed, but I didn't care. Like this is my child. So if I'd have been to cookouts with him, I'd have bring him to like birthday functions, did dinners. If I had the chance, I'd take him with the club with me. But you can't do that. But I was taking with me. After a while, I started seeing his growth, and sometimes I do wish that he can go back to the baby size. I don't know what it is. So I was like, I wish he could go back to the baby size, but now he's like 12 years old. I see I see him and me when I was growing up, as far as like making friends in school. Like, when we was in high school, I wasn't really like the popular kid, but people know my name, but I wasn't popular, you know what I'm saying? So I kind of doubled that in high school at the time. Like, okay, people know me, but I ain't really cool with a lot of people. So he's going through that as well. Like he went through that his first 3 years of high school. Mind you, no, how can I say, elementary school. But now, like, it's a switch where he's just becoming his own man. Like, he got a lot of friends now. He's making good grades. But for him to make good grades, it's all his mother. His mother makes a lot of education decisions, and I just kind of flow with it. She was a straight A student in high school. She got 3 degrees as of right now, and she kind of motivated me to get my second degree get my master's. So I give her that on that one. So a lot of stuff with her, I gave her her flowers and I gave her acknowledgement. Even though we divorced, and the divorce took a toll on our relationship, but it didn't stop our co-parenting relationship. So to this day, our son is making a 3.33. She gets him the tutor that he needs for his education, and I kind of followed suit. Once I saw that she was getting a tutoring session, I started getting tutoring session on my end as well. Um, she put him in like a lot of like activities, and I followed suit too. My thing is with co-parent, it can work, but sometimes we just got to stop being selfish as men. Stop being deadbeats to our kids. I never understand like why people can be deadbeats to their kids. That's not my thing. I lived my life through my child because growing up, my father was there, but he wasn't there as far as like he worked. Cause we're Caribbeans, he worked all the time, and he used to come home like late at night from work, so I didn't really see him until like the next morning. And at that time, we wasn't really like hanging out. We wasn't going out to eat. We wasn't going to the movies. We didn't do nothing as kid and father and son. But it's weird that he's doing that with my son. He'll call me like, "Hey, is cash available? I want to take him out to the movies. I want to take him out to eat." And I've been sitting here like, we didn't do it as a kid, but I understand he had to do what he do to survive, to take care of us, take care of his kids, working so much. So now me being working for the government, I'm able to spend more time with him to do certain things. So when my week come, we do Sunday to Sunday. So when that Sunday come, I'm already have things planned from like, go to the movies, get something to eat, go to the like the Chamonix Park and stuff like that. So yeah.
There's a lot there's a lot there there's a lot there to get to because there's especially with the not being there in the beginning part because that goes separate from the conversation a little bit. But I just want to ask this one part because you're not the first person that's done this or the first person that this happened to, right? But I've noticed one thing, and it's funny because you talked about the grandparents. I noticed that a lot of times when the dad or even no matter who the parent is isn't there, it seems like that parents, grandparents are always involved. So I'm just wondering, was your father and your grandparent, was your mom and dad, were they involved with your child when initially, or did they, yeah, with your son initially, or did they wait until that clicked in you, or was it there for them right away?
So what happened is my parents didn't know that I had a child at the time. So what happened? It's just a funny thing. When I told my dad first. I said, "Listen, I got myself in a situation. My fault, but I don't know if the kid is mine. But he looked exactly like me." So my father, no, what happened is, I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna go back. So with Caribbean parents, they kind of fear, they install fear in you sometimes, right? And when I was in high school, my parents would say, "Don't get nobody pregnant," right? And that stuck with me for years, like until like I was like in my 30s. I ain't get nobody pregnant, right? So I was like, now I'm nervous to say, listen, I got a child now. He's already here. So I put up on my dad and I said, "Hey dad, I gotta talk to you right quick." I said, "Listen, I got a situation. I got a baby, but he's already here. And he's like 6 months." Yeah, I waited so long. I was so scared to tell him. I'm like 30 something. I'm like, why am a grown man is so scared to tell his father?
That's that Caribbean fear.
Yeah, that's a Caribbean fence. I never forget he was cutting grass or he's cutting grass for somebody. He was on a lawn, he was on like a little lawnmower, right? And I told him, I said, and he was like, "Man, I was waiting for you to have kids. Why you waiting so long?" And I was like, and he just drove off. And he just drove off in the lawnmower. I was like, and then he came back. He said, "All right, this is what we gonna do. We're gonna
Mm.
assess the situation, and if the baby's yours, we gonna help you." So I'm like, "All right, cool." So I remember I bought him on a Sunday, right? And I opened the door. The baby walked. My son walked in. He's about 6 months walking in, whatever. And my dad just like he just smiled. Like he was like, He's like, "Oh man, all right, okay." And this is what both my parents said. It was like, "Don't waste your money on a
DNA
test,
test.
DNA test." He said, "Don't waste your money on DNA test. That boy looks exactly just like you, exactly to the T." And let me show you. I don't know if you see him. I can show this picture.
We're gonna post it. Whatever picture you're gonna
Okay.
show, we'll post that picture on
Yeah.
for your cover photo for the episode.
Yeah, and he was like, "Don't waste your money on no DNA test." My mother said the same thing. My sister said the same thing. They was like, "Man, this baby look just like you. Don't waste no money. You gonna waste $119. Don't do it." Blah blah. My my dad and my mom just took him in instantly to the point where like they kind of took over, knowing that because the babysitter was down the street. So my dad would leave his job and go pick him up, or I pick him up, and he'll call me as soon. He's like, "Hey, I saw your car at the babysitter house. You already know to come up the street." So I'm like, "All right." So they already had like dinner for him, clothes for him, Pampers, and I'm just like, damn, like me being so fair back then, knowing that they probably cursed me out, blah 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 blah, but just to see the reaction, the totally different reaction, and saying like, "All right, we're gonna help you," and they to this day they still in his life. They still asking to see him. They still asking to bring him over. But now he's at an age where he don't want to come over as much because he just want to be with his friends, play
Yeah, of
video games.
course, of
So
course.
yeah,
Yeah. So, but how did that feel to you to see him now? You know, your dad be the grandfather, like a father to him that I'm pretty sure you wanted. You know what I mean?
boy. But at the same time, a little jealousy. Do I when I say jealous, like because I didn't get that. I grew up. I'm the ninth child, right? And I wasn't close with my family. I was close to my dad. I wasn't close to my mom. I was close to my sister because they already, they were grown. I grew up by myself. I taught myself a lot of things. But just to see the conversation that he has with my son, there's time where I have to go out of town for work, and I call him only. I'll call my parents or I'll call my father like, "Hey, can you watch Cash for the next couple of days?" Because my thing is like, I could ask his mom, but I don't want to. I'm prideful. I don't want to.
Put it on her when it's not her days.
Yeah,
Yeah, I get you.
I don't want to do that because it's her time. So I have to figure out myself. But it's the opposite. So if she called me and said, "Hey, I'm going out of town for work. Can you watch? Can you watch my your weeks?" And I'd be like, "Cool." And then she'll have to say like, "Well, I could do double weeks." I'd be like,
Nah.
"Nah,
Yeah.
we're not gonna throw
Yeah.
each other off." But like, nah, that's so that is kind of it's kind of weird that like I'm just like seeing the dynamic with my father because he's a totally different person. Like he's much nicer. He's much like clear on certain things. Like, and then they changed our relationship because we're talking more. We're
Yeah.
talking a lot more than we did before when I was younger. So it's good. It's a good thing.
Yeah. So with all of this, and you have, you have your son, and at the time it was your son and your wife, but that was no longer the case. So how were you able to break that news to your son?
So in the marriage, we both wasn't happy, but I wasn't happy. I'm gonna put it 100. I wasn't happy in the marriage. 'Cause we didn't know each other. We just got married on a limb. We got pregnant. We was cool, co-parent. We saw how it was. We tried to get my son a family, but we didn't really know each other in the marriage. You know what I'm saying? And just to break that to him and say, "Hey, mommy and daddy about to get a divorce, but we still love you. We're gonna be there for you." And I commend her because she moved around the corner. She moved like lived like 7 minutes away from me. So she made an attempt to say, "All right, cool. We're still gonna be close, not as a family, but we're gonna be closer. So if something happened, I can jet over there go get him, or you can jet over here come get him." So I give her that. But when we broke the story, it broke him. He started crying. It broke him for a minute, and then it transferred into school. He wasn't doing his schoolwork. He was always angry. I remember he told the teacher like, my parents getting divorced, and I don't care. Like, and then
Mm.
one day he came home and he was like, "I don't want to go to school no more. I want to be a gamer." Like, you going to school, bro? Like, this was like the second week. like his third, second week, and I'm like, nah, you going to school. He just had a no care attitude, and he was always getting in trouble. But I think like after like kept talking to him, kept pointing to him, it got better over the next few months. And now he's in a good place where he has the best of both worlds. He got 2 rooms, 2 TVs, 2 game system. So he living the life right now.
So, and now you no longer have any, you're not having any more kids, right?
Nah, so I got a vasectomy in 2019. This I started. This is what I started thinking. Right when you have your first child, this is me in my opinion. When you have your first child and things are going good, you paying daycare, and then when you turn 5, you go to kindergarten, and all that daycare payment stop. And all of a sudden, another child just pop up, and you be like, God damn, I just stop paying for daycare. Now I got to pay for another one, so I got to start back over. So I was thinking in that mindset, like, I ain't want no more kids. I ain't want to pay for no more daycare. No, I'm really, he's 5 years old. He's independent. But I will say this. I will say this. I did want another child before the vasectomy. What happened was I used to make his dinner, make his lunch, give him a bath at 5 years old. And one day he came downstairs and he was like, Daddy, I'm a big boy now. I don't want you to give me no more showers, no bath. I want to take a shower by myself. And that broke me. I'm just like, damn, like I've been doing this for so long and he don't need my help. I'm like, fuck it. I need another child. I need to get another child. I need somebody to take care of. So we tried for like a month or two, and that was over it. I was like, ain't for me. So I was like, I didn't want to spend no more money on daycare. And I didn't want to start back over. So I was just like, cause we did birth control pills for months, and that was costing us a lot. And mind you, we're not making the money that we're making now. I'm making like 37, 38, close to 40 back then, and she was making like 60. So that it was, the economy going up, so we wasn't making that much money. And then birth control was like $70 a month. So I was like, man, we can't afford that. So I was like, let me get a vasectomy. But I had talked it over with 2 of my friends that had it first. Because the first thing come to your mind when you say vasectomy, you're like, oh, this won't hurt, blah, 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 blah. And when I talked to my boys about it, it was like, man, it's a pinch. It doesn't hurt. And I was like, what? And it was like, just take this little Tylenol 3 with codeine and be all right. So I called my insurance company. They was like, let's do it. We can do it. But I didn't like the fact that they asked me, did you talk it over with your wife? And I'm like, why do I need to talk it over with her? It's my body. I can do what I want to do.
So you did. So you did this before you got divorced. You got your
Hmm.
okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
And then
Oh,
too,
go
go
ahead.
ahead.
No, go ahead.
And in the mindset, I knew that was one of it. And I knew like the rate they were going in their relationship, it wasn't gonna last long. And I didn't want another child with somebody else. My thing is, I'm gonna be like, because my thing is like, you never know, you might get the opposite from your baby mother, and they might be jealous of you, jealous. Oh, you spending more time with your first kid, you not spending time with your second kid. You never had no money, blah blah blah. You always support the first child. So I was like, let me think about. I'm the investment. You got to understand that the courts. I haven't heard a successful child support court in my life. I haven't heard the man don't have to pay child support. I heard many horror stories. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just like, I ain't gonna be one of them statistics, bro. I'm not. You're not gonna have me the court. It's like, oh, you got to pay $600, and then you got to pay for nah, mm, nah. I'm good. I'm good. I'm not doing that.
I'm gonna shut my mouth.
But not divorced. She knew that I wasn't gonna be.
Yeah, you're gonna be there for the child. No, yeah, yeah. So there was no questions about that. So
She knew that I might be a fucked up husband, but she knew I wasn't gonna be a fucked up dad. I mean, can you curse on here?
right, yeah, nigga, we've been
Oh
doing
yeah,
it. You've been doing this shit the whole time. A little late for that now.
she knew I was gonna be a fucked up. Dad. I had one thing y'all know about me. I had to go to therapy. I had anxiety of being a father. That's one that people don't talk about. People don't talk about anxiety of being a father because you have to understand that being a father, everything falls on you, 100%. As a provider, security. You know what I'm saying? Financially, everything falls on you. Even if you don't want to, it's going to fall on you. If you be a deadbeat and she could find your social security number and put you in the court system, it's going to fall on you. But I wasn't thinking about that. I was thinking about um, somebody that I have to take care of for the rest of my life. Even when they turn 18, I'm still have to take care of, you know? And that kind of scared me a little bit. Like I got a little person that's looking up to me. Am I being the father I am that I need to be in his life? And am I being the man of myself? So I went to therapy for that. I still go to therapy to this day. I go to therapy every other week. And sometimes being a father does scare me because my thing is like I could lose my job, I could lose my house, I could lose my car, but I still got to provide. And how I'm provide for this person if I can't provide financially. So that scares me too as a father. And that's the one thing we don't talk about. We don't talk about anxiety as a father and as a man. You know, we don't talk about that all the time. And I tell people, go to therapy, man. Therapy helps a lot with a lot of things. My father, growing up, he was always angry, and I never said why he was angry, and that became me too. I was always angry as a man and as a person. And in my marriage, I saw how both my mother and my father talked to each other. So that kind of conflicted into my relationship and how I talk to females and how I talk to my son. I had read something. I saw like a video. Make sure you don't yell at your son or yell at your kids at night till they get nightmares. Make sure you don't yell at your kids in the morning time because they might have anxiety going to school. You never know type of day they might have at school when you yell at them. Because they think about what happened last night or this morning. Every morning, this time where he's irking my nerves, but I'd be like, and I just like, hey, come on, buddy, let's do this differently. Let's try this differently. Let's talk. Let's have a conversation. Hey, you gotta do your homework. Let's do your homework. Hey, you gotta take a shower. Like I try to talk to him calmly. And when I notice when I talk to him calmly, he's different. But if I start to yelling, he's fidgety. He's nervous. He's just like all over the place, and he don't know how to act. And then that caused him to have bad nightmares or bad sleep at night by me yelling at him and by me raising my voice. And I remember I used to have those type of anxiety growing up as a kid because my parents used to yell all the time. Because Jamaican culture, they always yell. They never talk. They always speak stuff needs to rub. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That I grew up with a lot of anxiety over the years, and that's probably what scared me as being a father.
But that's the thing. People really don't talk about that, right? Because that pressure that you
Mhm.
have is whether you're in the house or out of the house. Because for me, for example, right, I know it always weighed on when I was living in my one bedroom apartment. I remember living there and kept saying to myself, whatever I do, I got to make sure that I'm putting myself in a position that if, of course, their mother was always in a great position, right?
Yeah.
But if at any point their mother was to say, "Hey, I can't do this no more. I need you to take the kids," I want to be able to blink of an eye. And not being able to do that, couldn't sleep, can't eat. I mean, it drives me to do much more things. It drove me to study to get more certifications, but it has me drained that day during the day. I'm working from at 7 a.m. I'm getting off at 11 p.m. and I'm doing this and also working on Saturday. On the
Mm,
same Saturday, when I get off of work, I want to see the kids. Like, but you got to go through all of that pressure because you feel like you have to provide, even if you don't have for the moment that you don't have to. I'm always feeling that pressure. Right, like right now, I feel as though all three of my kids can live with me at this moment. If all of both sets of moms just said, "Hey, I can't do this no more," you got to take them. And this is all I've been striving for. This is why I'm under constant pressure. And in order for me to do that, I got to be able to maintain the position I'm in. And maintaining is never good enough because, like you said, if I lose my job tomorrow, what's going to happen? So let me have two. Let me have three because if I got to live off of two, then what happens when I lose one of those? I don't have a backup. Like it's just never stops. It never stops.
and I know if I lose my financial stableness, people take care of them, but I know it's gonna be like a certain time frame. She'd be like, all right, you've been off for like a couple months. Like, what's going on? I'm gonna need some child support me or something. I save a lot. Because it's not like when you get them random text messages like, hey, there's a doctor bill, it's due next week. You know, it's two people, one, the one that don't have no money, he's like nervous, like, okay, all right, I'm gonna pay this bill. All right, I gotta wait till my check. I done spent it all. Or that person like that saved that money, be like, all right, cool, I'll take care of it in the morning, no problem. But I think I think that the situation that she's comfortable in, like she know I can save. I save my money a lot, and she saw that in a marriage that I save my money. I don't really go out as much like I used to. I don't really spend like I used to. So I just constantly save. You know what I'm saying? So it's a good feeling when you have certain financial stableness in your on yourself and able to take care of that situation. But my thing is like at a blink of a lie, you never know when it's gonna end. You know what I'm saying? So you just gotta be careful of that.
Well, I'm always broke till I ain't gotta be.
But I feel like with boys it's different than when you have girls. Boys, you can buy them a couple shirts, a couple jeans, some sneakers. They cool with it. You know what I'm saying? With girls, they go in a lot of stuff like, oh, I want some toys, I want this, I want that. You
Your
know what
boy
I'm saying?
play basketball?
He plays. He was playing.
Any travel sports?
No, he was doing lacrosse for a minute, and then he was
Yeah.
doing.
Let that travel sport happen. And you talked about these. Yeah, they got to pay for clothes. Yeah, but you got to pay for hotel rooms. You got to pay for
Yeah,
tournaments. You got to pay. Yeah,
yeah,
boys are expensive
yeah.
as
I
well.
feel that he's gonna get expensive when he gets to like high school. Like right now, he's cool, but
Not
the
even high
most
school. If he's into sports and everything, I mean, might start now.
the most that he asked me for is sneakers. I don't know. Like I have a sneaker collection, right? And I was like, I said, oh Lord, he's gonna want sneakers, but now he's like, oh, can I get a pair of Jordans? That's $200 out my check. All right, let's go. You know what I'm saying? I want a pair of Vans. I want a pair of Kobe's. I'm like, oh, Lord, he's in that part. He's in that part right now. So yeah.
Right now, my kids don't care. My
Oh,
kids
how
are
old kids? How old kids?
mismatching everything. I got 11, 10, and about to be 2.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm coming up on my 1 year anniversary of my snip snip. No more. It is over. Yo,
So,
man.
question for you. My question for you, right? And this is part of being single, right? Knowing that you got a vasectomy, right? And knowing that you're a single dad, but ladies are still attracted to you, right? Now, let's say you meet somebody new. You tell them off the break you got a vasectomy.
Yeah.
I
Why
do
not?
too.
I mean, the fuck I gotta hide for? You're not meant for me, and I ain't meant for you. If you want kids, find somebody that can give you kids. I'm not your guy.
It's wild now. Like a lot of ladies don't want kids though. They don't want them. There's a lot of ladies that I come across. They don't want no kids. They okay with it. They're like, I don't want no kids. I'm like, okay, cool. That's what's up. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, listen, a lot of people say a lot of things until they get into relationships and all that other stuff. As soon as you tell me as soon as you even hint the word kid,
Uh,
it's like you called me a nigga to my face. Like you straight disrespecting me. Do
huh.
not talk to me about children at all. No more. Those days are done. Long gone. So, but let me ask you this. So how do y'all handle things now when it comes to things like now you're not parenting under the same household anymore. So do y'all keep the same general ideas? Are y'all communication still good with each other? Do y'all talk about what goes on at this? Because there's a lot of times, like for me, what happens at they don't talk to me about what goes on at their house. And I don't talk to me like it's vice versa. This is not your mama's house. I don't give a fuck what y'all do at your mama's house. What you do at mama's house and what you do in at daddy house.
Communication is different than it was before. One, because she got remarried, and as a respect factor,
Completely.
we only communicate if something's going on with Cash, but he's old enough to articulate what's going on with him. So we don't really talk as much, and I'm okay with that. We don't need to talk. So that's yeah. I don't ask him what's going on with mommy house, and his mom don't ask me what's going on in my house. We both live a private life. She's married. She's happy married with somebody else, and I'm happy for her. And I can one day I'm gonna give his mom spouse props. They pour into him. Both of them pour into him, especially his mom. She married a female, so yeah, I got no problem with that. I mean,
Well, I mean, yeah.
yeah, she's very. I'm going to say that she's very good with him, and she disciplined him. On a good part, on a good sense of like, okay, you need this type of this, not like whooping them. Like she taught something and put him on punishment. Like, okay, what you did at school, I don't like that. So I'm gonna take some stuff away from you, and he needs that. I had text her that I said, listen, I appreciate you being Cash Life. I see the difference in him when you pour into him, so I respect you for that. Um, like I said, no, this is a problem with people. This is a problem like with men seeing like their baby mother move on. Some, I'm not gonna say all, they move on to somebody else, and they feel like, oh, your spouse not gonna take over my child. I don't care about that. You know what I'm saying? I only care about the safety of my son, and he's okay at the end of the day. And and his mom makes good decisions on discipline and education and a lot of stuff. So I have no problem with both of them how they discipline my son.
Let me ask you a question though. Do you
But
think it would have been different if she was with a man?
that's the thing. I don't care.
Well, you don't got to think now because it don't matter at this point. But
No,
like, do you?
you know what? No, real talk. People had asked me that. I, the marriage wasn't gonna work out. I just wanted it to be over because it was too much back and forth. So once we split and then she moved to her new house and found somebody else, it could have been a man, a woman, albino. It could have been Donald Trump. I wouldn't care.
Nah, nigga, you would care if it's Trump.
But it's not to say it's jealous, but nah, I didn't. I don't care who she ended up with. I just want you to be happy. You know what I'm saying? I just want happiness. All I care about is happiness. You be happy with going on with your life. You got a lot. She got a lot of great things going for her. You know what I'm saying? Like good job, third degree. You know what I'm saying? Making good money. So I just want you to be happy and
What
being with.
about when it comes to your child? Like the discipline, like you said, the discipline of your child and all this other stuff. Like another man talking to your child that way. Do you think that plays a difference or will make a difference?
Maybe you might no, you're correct. If it was a man, I had to gauge it first and see how you talking to him. Like you talking to him like kind of reckless, like you cursing at him. Oh, we're gonna have a conversation. But if you're talking to him like, hey, you guys stop like if you're talking like real chill and direct, I'm cool with that. But if you're talking to like, you cursing at him and something like that, oh, we're gonna have a problem.
So it would be a little different.
It'd be a little different, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So that's interesting. So with that being the case, has she been okay with you just moving on to anybody else then?
I don't know. We don't really talk. She never I know and I know I was dating somebody, it kinda like she had like a little side eye about it. Okay. Just where this person came. Oh, she knew the no, I'm sorry. She knew the person while we were in the marriage. She knew the person.
Oh, that's why. See
Yeah.
what?
I'm gonna keep it on it. She knew the person.
Niggas like, I wonder why she's looking a little crazy at this.
She knew about the person in the marriage, and then once me and my wife's like finally divorced, um, I started hanging more with the person. They kind of had a good, I ain't gonna say good, decent situation, but it went left, and I knew it was gonna go left.
Yeah. What you think?
It went left, and then it came back. It went left, and then it went right, and then it went left, and it went right. And I was like,
Nah, that shit ain't never go back right. That shit stayed left. That shit,
stay left.
that shit.
They were cool. They were like, they were talking. All right. So when me and my ex-wife was not talking, we kind of like beefing. She would text her like, "Hey, can you tell Seymour to do this? Can you tell Seymour to pay this bill? Or can you tell Seymour to talk to Cash? Blah blah." So she would go to her directly, bypass me, and go to her because she didn't want to talk to me, whatever. So I was like, okay,
We know how women do passive aggressive
yeah,
stuff. Like,
yeah,
come on, Seymour. Like, come on. You can try to convince yourself as much as you want to. That was bound to be bad.
right.
Think about it. Think about it. Look, if the person she married would have been somebody that y'all was hanging around before, nigga, no. Like, see your face. Nah, that shit ain't gonna work.
That ain't gonna work. Ain't gonna work.
That shit ain't gonna work. But man, I appreciate you taking the time to come on here and show how, even if a marriage doesn't work, that has no bearing on raising a child in a proper co-parenting relationship.
Like I said, I live my life through him, man. Like, I have fun. Like, there's times where like I didn't get to do the stuff that he's doing now. Like I didn't get invited to birthday parties. I didn't get invited to like um certain events, and then there's times where he's like, "Hey, I got invited to a birthday party. Sky is on." I'm like, "Man, I'm going too. I can have fun myself. I'm going. Like, let's go." Like, I just kind of live. I guess it's like in a childhood of me that's coming out, and there's time where like now, like okay, I always tell people that I'm not the '80s, '90s parent. I'm that 2000 parent. Like, I'll take them to go see rated R movies. With we didn't seen the Strangers, we didn't seen Saw 10, we just saw all that stuff together. Like I take them to see it because I'm different. And my thing is with him is like see. All right, prime example. 2 weeks ago when he was in school, he skipped class, right? With his girlfriend. His mother called me and she said, You need to talk to your son." I said, "What's going on?" He said he skipped class. So I talked to him. I said, what happened?" He said, "I skipped class with my girlfriend." I said, "Where y'all go?" He said, "We're in the hallway watching Netflix." I chuckled for a second. I was like, "So y'all watching Netflix on my account in the hallway? Really?" So his mom was upset about it, but I had to see the other side. My son is a giver. He's a pleaser. He's like me. He's going to please the other person and sacrifice himself in trouble. And I'm like that as well. My dad is like that. We both pleasers. We're going to please the other person, make sure the person is okay. So I had to make her look at the other side. Like, listen, no, you got to go look. You got a little girlfriend. You wanted to spend time with her. He's gonna sacrifice. He's growing up. We got small. This is small. He didn't leave the school. He was around the corner from the classroom. So we have to not get mad at the small stuff and get mad at the big stuff. You know what I'm saying? Okay, he got in trouble. He got detention. Cool. I'll pick him up from school. Even though it's your week, I go pick him up. But I had to feel like I was upset with him. I'm like, "Cash, you can't be doing that." I picked make up some stuff and I was upset, but I really was upset. I was like, I just saw that he was pleasing. He was trying to please his girlfriend. His girlfriend like, "Hey, let's go watch Netflix." Cool. His response, I asked him, "Why did you skip class?" He was like, "Well, I thought the teachers was going to care." And I explained to him, like, "These teachers are accountable for you, so you have to be in class." But at the same time, I understand what he was doing. Sometimes, as a parent, we can't get upset too quickly. Sometimes we got to hear him out. Sometimes we got to see the other side. He's 11, about to be 12. So I know there's going to be bigger stuff that he's going to do that's going to get him in bigger trouble. But I got to nip in the bud quickly. So I got to keep talking to him. I got to continue to be there for him, and continue to spend time with him. And sometimes, just talk. His mother, on the other hand, she gets mad quickly, but sometimes I have to like calm her down. Like, he's going through a phase right now.
I'm gonna tell you, I would know. This is what's so messed up about having both genders as children, because I'm pretty sure my other homeboy that has nothing but sons will probably agree with you and just roll along with it. But me, because I have a daughter, I would have probably went the fuck off. Because I'm gonna tell you right now, let my little girl, and I don't want to hear none of that shit you talking right now. That was my goddamn daughter in the motherfucking hallway with your goddamn son. I don't want to hear none of that shit. You take your little ass in class and you don't ever come the fuck out. What are we
Right,
talking about? But I
right.
mean, I guess with different styles and different things, because I'm just looking at it like if it was my daughter,
I got you.
fuck that shit. Because think about it, if I would have heard, yeah, she's just sitting there, she's just going through her phase. Fuck, you gonna have to phase my foot out her ass. Are you? No, absolutely
Like I
not.
said, it's different when you have a son and a daughter. Like,
Yeah,
you're more protected, and then with your son, you're giving him high five. Like, "Oh, you watching Netflix? That's cute." It's a weird dynamic, but I get what you're saying. I definitely get what you're saying. My thing is like I don't have my son like I used to. One, he's making honor roll. Why am I complaining about? Why am I like fussing at him when he's making honor roll? He's doing the work. He's doing the schoolwork. He's going to school, and I'm
you pick
like,
and choose your
you
battles.
got to, like you said, you got to pick and
Yeah,
choose your battle.
I
And like I
get
said,
that.
I can't like my household growing up. It was toxic. It was toxic. Every day was something new. My mother and my father arguing. You know what I'm saying? It was just so much going on, and that's one of the main reasons why I got the divorce because we was arguing so much, and it was waking him out of his sleep. So I had to make a decision. Like, all right, we're not getting along. We're not seeing eye to eye. I gotta make a sacrifice. I live at peace. My house is peaceful. I don't invite toxicity in my house. I don't invite a lot of people in my houses at all. I live in peace. And you see my house is quiet, and I didn't have that growing up. You know, one, I probably won't get married no time soon. I probably won't get in a relationship no time soon. Due to the fact that I have a house of peace, and I don't want to. I don't want to invite somebody in. I don't want to invite another energy into my house. Like this is my son's safe place. When he comes home from his mother's house, he has the opportunity to watch his TV. He has the opportunity to play his game. He's calm and collected from Saturday to Sunday. He's at peace. And he's the same with his mom's house. But I just want him to have a safe place. I made a mistake once I got divorced. Invited somebody into the house for a little bit, and it was just chaos. And it was I didn't think about him because she had a daughter. Both my son, her daughter was sharing the same room together. And I wasn't thinking. I was like, damn, I didn't really think about my son to say, all right, hold up, how this going to affect him? But once I saw that it was affecting him, I was like, hey, you got to move
Gotta
out.
go.
You got to go. You know what I'm saying? You got to have his
You
own space.
you and
So,
your daughter hit the motherfucking streets.
so once they moved out, you know, he was okay with it. He was like, all right, cool. I got my room back. I got my space. And then I revamped his room. I put a lot of stuff in his room, like I put new carpet. As you said, this is room right here. This carpet, his TV. No, he's cool. This is a safe place. So right now, I got to think about him right now at a point. So he's about to be 12. So maybe like a couple more years, I might think about getting married, but not right now. Like I got to make sure he's good. I don't want to. If I get married, it has to be in another house, a bigger house. This is a two-bedroom townhouse, and I want to make sure that he's okay. So I notice a difference when he come home. He's calm. He does his homework. He goes to bed peacefully. There's time where he go to bed like at 10, 11 o'clock at night, and I'm like, but I don't fuss. I'm like, hey, we gotta get up at 5:30, go to before care. So make sure you up. And I'm noticing like my alarm clock go off. He already made his breakfast. He got the clothes on. He done brushed his teeth. He's waiting for me downstairs. So he's more independent. He's showing me that he's independent, and it's like I don't really do too much. I really don't do too much at this age. He's independent. He do a lot of stuff himself. Me personally, when I come home from work, I do everything at night. So I make his breakfast. I make pancakes. So he loves pancakes. So I make the pancakes from the night before. I make his lunch. I spoil him. I'm gonna tell you why I spoil him because he doesn't eat school lunch. He hates school lunch.
Bro, listen, bro. I have this same, and we are all over the place today, but it's fine. It's all because these goddamn
We can
kids
start
make you
back
lose.
over again.
Because the kids make you lose your mind a little bit. So my son has a thing. Apparently, with he loses his lunchbox at school all the time.
Yes, I'm going through that too.
And so his mother says, "Well, if you lose your lunchbox, even though they have multiple at the house, she says I will not make you school lunch the next day." Well, apparently this motherfucker goes on a starvation tour or something and says, "Well, I'm just not going to eat school lunch," and doesn't eat the school lunch. And they ended up calling the goddamn house about it, about he not wanting to eat. But then the next, I said, "Man, this motherfucker would never have another meal. Or he probably would have to ask for a box from school lunch to take home to eat for dinner. I would not make him another damn meal after showing out like
What you
that.
making
Like,
for lunch? So
no,
what you making for lunch then? What you making for lunch? Because my son
really?
goes.
He gets school lunch when he goes when daddy got to drop you off. You get what they have at the school.
So his mother's different. His mother, it flips. Like his mom is more the disciplinary, and I'm more the soft parent. Like she told him, like I ain't making no more school lunch. You gotta eat the school lunch at school. When he come over, he's having pork chops, shrimp.
Yeah, yeah, you wanted,
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm like I'm making like I mean, like I said, I spoil my son. I don't know what it is. Like I spoil him so much. It's crazy, but I love it. I love the fact that I can provide and do this for him. Well, he's going to school with a glass container. He got his little water, his knife and fork, his pork chop, his rice, his vegetables. The kids, the teacher's calling me like, "Hey, what you made at cash for lunch? Can you make that for the other kids?" I'm like, "No, I'm not making it for the other kids." I'm like, "I'm not doing that." They're like, "Oh, will you bring lunch for us?" I'm like, "No, I'm not."
Well, look, I'm gonna get you out of here on this. Here's a bit of advice. Like you told me, like you asked me about being single out here. You're out here single and you're doing all this stuff for your kid. You know it's a dangerous game out there. Somebody's gonna try to move in. So
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. 42. At 40, I can't make that mistake no more. At 42, you're much wiser, but you want peace at 42. My block list is I got a high block list on my phone. I got anytime somebody disrupt my peace, as you know, there's a book called Protect Your Peace by William Shelton, I think. I've heard his name. But anybody disturb your peace, I block them. You know, I'm all about energy. If your energy is not good, I can't invite you into my house. You know what I'm saying?
privilege of having a good co-parent. Because
Hmm.
when my peace is disturbed, I can't block a goddamn thing.
Right? You entertain, but you understand, like, we two single brothers. It. I mean, I don't know what your family, but you seem like you're doing good for yourself. I have watched you over the years. I have watched you. We've been cool since
Nigga, we
high school,
old. Yeah.
right? And you always had this. Don't be offended by what I say, but it goes into a good positive way. You always been cocky, right? But I knew why you was cocky because you knew your shit. You knew your shit. Now some people can be cocky but don't know their shit. But you had a plan. You told me your plan to happen. Like, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. Or when I met you and then I saw you at Love Nightclub and you said be there with your fraternity brothers, right? You had a plan then. You were like, all right, this is my plan. I'm gonna do this. And I watched you through Facebook and watched you through Instagram. And I was like, man, he everything that he said he's gonna accomplish. He did it. And so I give you your flowers, brother.
Appreciate it. I appreciate it. Nah, I didn't. I tell you what I didn't say was having a kid right before I turned 40.
Uh,
I appreciate it, man. This is a great episode of Just My Baby Daddy podcast. I know you liked what you saw. So what I need for you to do is go back and look at past episodes. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share our YouTube page, Just My Baby Daddy Podcast. And you can follow us on all social media at Just My Baby Daddy Pod.